What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Eager to Love podcast. Now I'm your host, James, and my co-host,
Yo.
Brian Nels. All right, so we got a special guest here. He's a good friend of Brian's, Luke. So he'll be in here after the break.
I always been that type of kid to find somebody better than leave her cause of all the pressure.
Let's give a special sponsor, Springfield Best One, Springfield East Stone. Check her out. Check out her Instagram. Springfield. That's Springfield Best One. So she got a YouTube channel, Bonnie Stone. Check out her music. It's mad good, and I'm actually in this music video, so go check it out. I'm right there, and make sure you go watch their podcast too. Bonnie Stone and Miss Phenom, Crushing the Culture, and make sure y'all go watch their videos, watch, and follow her on Instagram. So this is our second guest, Luke here. And how you doing, Luke?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
We're good. We're just chilling over here.
Good to hear.
So tell us a little about yourself, Luke. How you grew up and everything.
All right, so my name's Luke. I grew up basically I'm from West Springfield, Mass. I'm an only child. I grew up with one pet cat. I went to public school my whole life ever since, and then I hit high school. Now I go to Pope Francis with Brian. I've known Brian since freshman year. He's my boy.
Yes, sir.
Really loved the community. Love going to Pope Francis, and I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be on the show with the boys, and yeah, that's basically it.
All right, that's a cool. Growing up, I went to public school for 3 years, and then 3rd to 8th grade, I went to St. Michael's with him. He came in 6th grade, and so I've known him since 6th.
I mean, same as me. I went to public school for 5 years, and then I went to Catholic middle school for 3 years with this guy James.
So yeah, basically, how do you? So this is obviously about love. Breaking the ice with you. I'm gonna go right in. So, what would you describe your relationships and love? And if you could just do like a brief summary, like how would you describe that?
I don't know. Honestly, I've been all over the place when it comes to relationships, to be honest.
Here's the deal. Do we start sophomore year or do we start later?
Nah, I think I got to go earlier, to be honest.
I mean, all right, that's cool. So yeah. However far you want to go back, that's cool if you want to start there.
Yeah, I mean, there's those, like, back in like middle school and stuff, you have those like relationships where you like consider a relationship, but it's not really serious. You just like ask a girl out and you guys are like having fun, whatever. Right. I had a couple of those in middle school, but I didn't really have my first serious one until, like Brian was saying, like sophomore year. And I was dating this girl. We dated for like a year and a half. It was pretty fun times. I learned a lot from the relationship. It had its ups and downs. But I can really honestly say, I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from it. Yeah, that's basically it. And then I had one after that, and then another one after that didn't really work out. But now I kind of learned, being in a relationship isn't all that it seems to be, I guess, sometimes. Because sometimes that can really distract you from yourself and kind of take you away from life around you. And sometimes you got to focus on that. Sometimes you need to focus on yourself, and sometimes you got to focus on like what you want to do. And now me being single, I guess I've kind of really learned to work on myself and work on what I want to do in my future and my sport, obviously. And honestly, I feel like personally, for me, as of right now, being single was my best option. But I really enjoy relationships sometimes, and they can be fun. There's also a lot to learn and a lot of knowledge you can gain from being in one.
So, do you think when you guys were dating, obviously for a year and a half, did you think she was the one, or was it kind of just like you weren't really thinking about that in that moment?
I mean, yeah, obviously, I thought about it for dating that long. I thought that in some points, because we were together for what seemed like forever, and you know, being with her for that long kind of made it seem like that too, and having that feeling, you always wanted to be with her and you always wanted to do stuff with her, kind of gave you that mindset, that I want to be with her. If I can tolerate being with her like every single day, talking to her every single day, then I feel like it can be the rest of my life. But eventually stuff happened and broke up, obviously. So, but yeah, during that time, I definitely felt that way.
So, you guys still talk now, or that's
Um, Honestly, kind of have ups and downs. I would say right now we're not on a talking basis, like we don't talk at all. But I mean, we're chill, I guess. We're civil, we don't really have any problems. Me personally now, since it's my senior year and everything, I don't really want to go around causing problems with people. So I'm just trying to keep it chill with everybody as possible. And so yeah, me and her are kind of just on a civil basis right now, I guess.
right, right. Yeah, I've never made it to a year. I didn't even
Neither
make
have
it to half. I haven't even made it to half a year, so I don't really know, to that extent. But I always tell my like whoever I break up with, if we don't work out, I always say, we're cool. Like there's no love lost. Like I told you I love you. I told you I care about you. That doesn't change the way I love you. May change. Like I still like I love you, but not like in love with you.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. I mean, so what did you take from that relationship in terms of for like future reference?
Obviously, since I was in that relationship for a long time, I learned a lot. Basically, um, I made some mistakes personally. Since that was really my first like real like relationship. Um, because like I said, it was kind of before it was kind of those middle school kind of like jokey ones. But since that was like my first real relationship, I learned a lot more about respect and how you should treat your girl and what you should be doing with her, what you shouldn't be doing with her. Basically, just my main thing is definitely like respect in a sense that I took away from that.
Did it hurt after you guys broke up?
Yeah, obviously being together for that long, obviously it did hurt, a year and a half, and then kind of just all goes away in an instant. It did hurt, but I got over it. I got through that, and just tried to focus on myself and do what was best for me and try to keep myself happy in any way I could to try to get my mind away from that pain, I guess.
Just one more question about that. Were you playing soccer while you were in that relationship?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was it hard to kind of balance those two? Because I said the previous episode that trying to like balance your schedule in terms of having a relationship, it's like two big things in your life. Do you think?
That was definitely difficult. Because at the time I was actually playing soccer, basketball, soccer in the winter, and baseball, and then baseball in the spring, or soccer in the spring. And definitely with all that sports and school and trying to focus and balance everything, and hang out with my friends and taking time for my family, and all that stuff, that was definitely one of the harder parts of it. um and to be honest, I feel like I mean, obviously it was nice putting a lot of time in that relationship, but sometimes I feel like I put too much to where I could have used that time more productively, in either my sport or my schooling. um yeah, definitely the time management was definitely pretty difficult, but I started to get the hang of it for after a little while.
Now, Luke, as I remember, she played soccer too, and did that make anything more difficult as you two were both playing the same sport in the same season?
Honestly, not really. Because as you know, Brian, they have their practices usually around the same time or before. So it wasn't that bad. 'Cause sometimes we would hang out after practice, or usually on weekends, neither of us would have practices. Besides, we would have the Sunday practices. So we'd hang out a little on Sundays too. But most of the time, it was really we both had practices on the same days, and games were alternating. But we didn't really hang out much on weekdays, anyways. We kind of took that time, to focus on our school and focus, on being at home with our families and stuff. So, definitely having sport in the same season was kind of hard, or not hard to be honest. But in a sense of me, like in the spring where I played baseball and soccer and she didn't play a sport, I feel like that was kind of harder because I personally I kind of felt bad because I had to put all that time into my sport, and to where she wouldn't have a sport, so she wouldn't be doing anything and I'd be doing something. So.
And as I remember, your ex, she also had a sister, and did that sister ever pose any trouble to the relationship?
Honestly, not really. Um, didn't really cause any problems. It was kind of just put it on like a me and her basis, and if we had any problems, we kind of just focused on it ourselves, and we didn't really want to make bigger issues of problems in our relationship than really needed to happen.
All right. So now you're a senior, and I heard, and I feel so bad for especially like athletes this season, especially in your senior year. Your soccer season was cut short, and you spent. I'm pretty sure you guys spent like summer on end. Like this is your last year and everything. Were you able to get the college? If you're playing college and if you're playing soccer in college, did you still get that same of like attention or?
It was definitely a lot harder. Not because we only played like 2 games this season. We had a summer league, but we barely played any games. Our actual summer league got canceled, so we kind of played like scrimmage sort of games against other teams. But it was definitely a lot harder. But I ended up getting some attention to coaches, and next year I'm going to AIC to play soccer on scholarship, which is definitely something I'm proud of because I worked my tail off day in day out to get that, and it was definitely something I worked hard for, and definitely something that I'm proud of myself of, and my friends, my family, coaches, everybody saw that hard work that I put in, and it definitely paid off.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's the type of thing that matters more. It matters more of that self-gratitude with you and all of your achievements than having to put half of your life into a relationship, because that type of thing, and it is what I was going to state before, a relationship takes up a lot of your time. And if you're not willing to commit that time to a relationship, then you shouldn't be in a relationship in the first place.
Yeah, definitely. To add on that, I mean, we broke up last summer, and ever since that, I really had the time to myself to train and practice and really focus on my sport and be like at the top level that I could be. And this year, even though our season cut short, we still practiced every day. We still went out there, really worked our tails off, and I felt like the best I've ever been. Really at the top of the world. And it was really a matter of me just having that time to myself and really being able to train and being able to work with myself, just not in only a sports sense, but just working on myself. I really felt like I was at my best.
So let me ask you this: who is the worst team you think you faced this year?
Oh my God!
I know why he's saying
it. Yeah.
Definitely either Hampton Charter, or we played Field B team in the summer league. You know,
You're gonna call my school like that?
You're gonna
Well,
I'm sorry. I put 4 on your team. I'm sorry, bro. I put 4 on your team.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, we're just I know it, we face you guys like, is it every year or was it just the last 2
Nah,
years?
it was just this year. Just this year.
Sophomore year, I remember we scrimmaged you guys. We did scrimmage.
Yeah, we had like a really good coach last year. I don't know his name exactly, but
Yeah, he used to be my club coach, Coach Streeter.
yeah, so we had him, and I don't know if he coached this year. Did he?
No, he's a coach with the New England Revolution now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. No, I'm kind of a little mad. I'm not mad, but I had to know the answer because I didn't know if that was, maybe you had a different answer. You maybe would have said somebody else, but I mean, it's all cool. So, wow. So you started soccer in sophomore year or freshman year?
Well, I've been playing soccer ever since I was 3, and
okay.
My cousins play soccer as well, and my dad played soccer. My uncle played soccer. I always grew up in a soccer family. My cousins played college soccer as well, and so to kind of run in that legacy and kind of live that legacy in my family, it just feels great too.
That's great. That's definitely cool. So besides like the soccer stuff and going into focusing on that, you're going into college, and I said this before, and I don't know if Brian disagreed, but going to college single is the best way to go. I don't know if you agree with that statement, because in terms of, you get to meet new people, you might find out what you like, what you don't like, and in terms of like meeting different, I mean, not just girls, but that's kind of what I would have leaned to, but just new people. Would you agree with going into college single if you could?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Me personally, I think I'm going to do that. Just, a matter of sense of, meeting new people and kind of focusing on school. Like as soon as you get there, kind of getting used to that environment and not having a significant other to kind of, while say you're away, like say you guys go to different colleges, for example, they're somewhere else, you're somewhere else, and you don't have to take that time to, focus on what they're doing or what's going on in their life, when you can just focus on yours and get used to that environment, that new environment, and meet new people and everything else.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Brian, what do you think?
Well, honestly, yeah, I think I have about the same viewpoint on it. Going into college single, it gives you a better experience. And like I mentioned the last podcast, I've been reading this book, and this book is like giving me a lot of tips on what.
What's the name? What's the name of the book, Brian?
It's called The Naked Roommate.
Okay.
And it has a section on relationships, and I mean, I won't really try to reinstate from last podcast, but it gives you a lot of tips, and you want to have a great experience in college, and having a girlfriend just a plus.
Yeah, definitely. I would say enjoy your college life, because it's like in the middle of a transition to like adulthood. And once you graduate, it's like, it's like a switch. You're going to be an adult. You got to, work. You got to try to get a place. You're on your own, and you're going to find yourself not having time to find yourself in that way, because most of your time is going to work and work and working. And then you got to be able to put a roof over your head. And so I say, like, college take it as a fun time, and not like, and I'm not saying don't focus on school at all, but I mean as an entirety, that you just have fun. And because, like I said, high school was meant to have fun too, but college is a whole different thing. And I just think, going into college single, clear mindset, open-minded is the best way to go. So, yeah. So, what else we can talk about? So what schools did you go to for before? Well, you went to schools all in West Springfield.
Yeah, yeah. I went to a couple different elementary schools in West Springfield. I moved around a lot as a kid. So I went to like 3 different elementary schools, and I went to middle school in West Springfield, and then Pope.
And you like Pope?
Yeah, yeah, I do. No, I liked public school. But it was kind of crazy sometimes with, our class had like 300 kids, and definitely dropping it down to like, what do we got, Brian? Like 80 kids in our class, something like that.
We have, I think, 84 now.
Yeah. So just that sense of, a smaller class, you really get closer with people, you really build a community, not only in your grade, but, in other grades. Because like even our school just has as much as like one of our classes in public school. And even like the teachers too, like you get that one-on-one sense. And if you really need help, like the teachers know you by name, and not just as like one of their students. When you have like that bigger school, and even sports as well, you really get to build a relationship with your teammates and your coaches, and it brings like just a whole family sort of aspect to it.
Yeah, my school's built the same way in terms of the size. I went to a small school, obviously from St. Michael's to Hamden Charter. I wanted to go to Pope. The main reason because Brian was going there. That's like my best friend.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the size, like I definitely do agree. It's a smaller thing. Like your graduating class. I think mine is like I don't even know the exact number. I think it's maybe around the same number as yours. But I feel like it is better when it's small knit. But there's also pros and cons too. It is for my school. Our sport is wrestling. So if you want to really get big in wrestling, that's a good school to go to. And I don't is it soccer or hockey for your school that's like
Hockey.
Mostly hockey, but
Hockey?
soccer is mostly incorporated itself into that mix a little bit.
Hmm.
so okay, that's cool. I know you guys have a football field. You guys didn't try to get a football
Yeah,
team going?
we tried, but I don't think we got enough kids to join. So, but it would definitely be nice to get a football team.
Yeah, my school can't. We don't even have our own field really, and we're gonna combine with Comp or something. I think the Comp Colts. I think that's their name, and they said they didn't want us getting hurt. I don't know what if that was the exact reason, but you guys have a field. I was like, oh, they're gonna have a football team. That would be dope, but especially just starting. Wouldn't you guys be in the division with Central, or that would be a whole different.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because I think like one of the kids was telling me about it. It's like you kind of have to like work your way up through the ranks first. Like if we're a football team, we're probably going to get put in like a really, really low division. And Central's, like one of the top teams in the state, so they're playing D1. So
Yeah.
would probably play like really, really smaller schools in the area.
Yeah. Okay, what position do you think you would play?
Me, I don't know. Like I've always thought about playing football, but since I've been so dedicated to soccer, I kind of just stuck with it. I don't know, probably either like a QB or maybe like a wide receiver or something like that.
You look like you would be like a good quarterback. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
I could just see it.
like it kind of works out. So
Okay, what about you, Brian?
I already know Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, he wants to be a running back. Okay, that's pretty cool. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. It was definitely great talking to Luke, and him sharing his experience with soccer and a relationship. It's really I think you appreciate you for joining the show and everything. Taking the time to talk to us. It's greatly appreciated because we want your insight too. You're part of the teenage, young teenagers who are in the area. So it's definitely cool to hear your side of it.
yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's great to talk to you guys about everything.
Yeah, most definitely. So that's it, guys. Definitely a great podcast today. I definitely enjoyed having Luke on the show, and I never met him. Literally just like 2 minutes before the podcast, and he's a cool guy to talk to. I definitely want to have great more conversations with him in the future. But yeah, that's basically it. I love having guests on the show. I never have a problem with it. It's great to talk to people. Brian, if you want, his snap is going to be after this video. Excuse me. His snap's going to be in the video. You can add him, ask him for a feature, and we can definitely get you in. It was definitely a pleasure. Any last words, Brian?
I think that's about it, bro. I think that's about it.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Eager to Love podcast. We're saying stay blessed, be safe, positive vibes. Peace out.